All right, guys, good evening. We've got ourselves a game just about wrapped up here. It's obviously over. Vegas is trying to score a garbage time touchdown here with a minute 45 left, but the Sea Dragons have won the game. It's 28-3, and at this point, there's nothing that can really happen to change the fact that the Sea Dragons are going to the postseason. There was a lot of confusion this week about tiebreakers and what we actually needed to happen for the Sea Dragons to get in. ESPN kept implying we had to score at least 34 points. Not the case. As it turns out, that was just one of the tiebreakers. We can win on another tiebreaker that just required us to keep the Vipers from scoring 27. And as you can see right now, okay, the Vipers just got their touchdown. They're not going to get to 27 unless they score another 2 touchdowns and another 3 2-point conversions in the last minute and a half here. So we're good. We are good. The Sea Dragons are going to the playoffs as per my best information. Per the XFL tiebreakers, we are good to go. We are going to play the DC Defenders next week, I believe on Sunday. And got to feel pretty good about things right now because the team is playing their best football. Today, I know they're playing a pretty bad team, a Vegas Vipers team that has been really bad all year with very little to play for. But they played really good today. They played really good last week. They look like they have a chance to go win a championship. And I'm really happy they're going to have the opportunity to do that. I'm really glad that the tiebreakers broke in such a way that it was within the realm of realistic possibility for them to be able to go get this playoff spot. They didn't need to win by some ridiculous margin. And 28-9, or whatever it actually ends up being at the end of the day, is going to be more than good enough. So, to briefly talk about what happened in this game, I mean, again, it's business as usual. The Sea Dragons are playing at a level right now where this game shouldn't really be any kind of problem. They're playing a bad team with absolutely nothing going on, but you combine what they did today with what they did last week, they look like they're playing some of their best football. At the very least, they're playing really good football, and you have to feel okay about their chances of going into DC next week and winning. Obviously, DC's been the best team in the league this year, mostly, so it's not going to be easy. You've already lost to them twice, but they've been extremely close games that have come down to the wire, and it's not a challenge that I'm afraid of or anything. It's something that I'm sitting there looking at and going, okay, bring it on. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I'm happy that this team gets to participate in the first ever XFL postseason, at least this iteration of the XFL. Proud of them. They came through, overcame some really, really tough losses, and here they are. So, to just talk about this game real quick, forgetting about the fact that they're now in the playoffs, I mean, the offense, even though he threw another 2 interceptions today, I do want to give it up to Ben DiNucci. I want to give it up to Ben DiNucci. I thought he played a really good game. I thought there was a point in this game where it looked like things were starting to get away from us. When Pearson was in the locker room, he got hurt. Pearson was out. The offense just couldn't get anything going for a little while there. But DiNucci was able to protect the ball at that point. We did not turn the ball over at that point. That's something that really could have let the game spin away from us. And when Pearson came back, things started motoring up a little bit. Things started warming up. DiNucci made some great plays with his feet. He made some awesome throws down the field. And obviously, the turnovers are still a problem. He leads the XFL in interceptions by a pretty wide margin. But I feel really good about DiNucci right now. I feel really good about him going into the 2024 season and beyond as the Seattle Sea Dragons quarterback. I feel good about it. As long as we can keep him, I'm good with it. And a couple months ago, I wouldn't have said that necessarily. He just wasn't doing enough good stuff to make up for the bad stuff he does. Well, now he does. And he threw 2 interceptions when the game was already pretty much over. I'm not really getting tripped up on that. But other than those 2 plays, which, okay, I wish he would clean it up a little bit, I think it's more than good enough. I think that what we're seeing from DiNucci right now is more than good enough. Really happy with him. Pearson came back, and obviously when he comes in, the whole offense is just freed up. We even did some nice things on the ground today. Nothing huge, but good enough for me to feel decently about where this team is headed. This offensive line played well. It was just a good effort from the offense. It was great to see Josh Gordon play so well. He had probably almost 100 yards today. We need Josh Gordon to play at a high level if we want to win this title. because bottom line is we have a couple players on this team that don't belong in the XFL. They're too good for the XFL. Every team has a couple. One of ours is Josh Gordon, so we need to figure him out. Figure out how to use him, or figure out how to use him as a decoy, or whatever. We need to utilize that massive advantage that we have at that position. Sea Dragon's just running the clock out here. So if you have any doubt on whether or not the 34-point tiebreaker doesn't matter, this should dispel it. The fact that the Sea Dragons are knowingly just running out the clock instead of trying to go score one last touchdown. That should be pretty definitive there. And that's the game. 28-9. So, yeah, offense. The turnovers obviously stopped what could have been a 40-point game. But I'm happy. I'm happy with it. They're well-rounded. They're playing really good football right now. The June Jones offense is clicking. They've come so far from where they started this season. And it feels like they're good enough for us to win a lot of games this season. This postseason, rather, excuse me. Other than that, the defense, defense, maybe their best game of the year. They gave up one garbage time touchdown. They gave up like 3 big plays the whole game, and one of them was in complete garbage time. It didn't matter at all. So the Sea Dragons defense right now is cooking, and it feels like we could do just about anything with this defense going into the postseason. So really happy with the way they played. They got a lot of pressure. They took the ball away once. They had a couple of close calls in terms of forcing turnovers as well. Probably could have forced 2 or 3 more. They made a lot of plays in the backfield against the run. And it feels like they might be our better unit at the moment, which is a surprise. Going into this season, I don't think it was widely expected for the Sea Dragons defense to be ahead of the offense. Right now, it feels like it may be. So if they can keep this up, and I know the Vipers' offense is not good, but it doesn't matter. We played the Vipers way back in week 3, and we gave up way more points than this. That should be somewhat indicative of how far we've come as a defense to go from what we were doing way back at the start of the season to what we have going on right now. So the XFL playoffs are a week away, and it looks like the Sea Dragons are in. So very happy, very excited. Hopefully I'll be able to make a pregame video about it. It's probably going to be something really short because, you know, the XFL, it just hasn't been around long enough for there to be that much to say. But what I can say is that I believe that this team can take anybody right now. I'm not saying we're the best team, but I'm saying we can hang with anybody and we can beat anybody. I mean, I'm looking back at those 2 DC Defenders games this year. 2 games. First game, we're going in for the win, and then we fumble at the 1-yard line. Next game comes down to a 2-point conversion where we let up immediate pressure on Danucci. He can't make a play. So that's how thin these margins are. That's how close we were to winning both of those games. So I'm not afraid of it. I'm not afraid of going and taking on the DC Defenders as good as they are. Feels like we're just clicking right now. Also, I didn't make a video about this yet, but RIP, rest in peace to Chris Smith. Really sad, really tragic situation going on over there. It obviously came out of nowhere. Nobody really expected it, but really sad situation with that. And you can see that it's affected the team. He obviously was a longtime NFL player, so a lot of NFL teams have had things to say about that. So shout out to the team for working through that and overcoming that, because obviously that's a thing that is going to affect the way that you can play football. And they played hard for him today, I guess you could say. So thank you. I'll see you guys later. Go Sea Dragons. Looks like we're in the playoffs. 28-9, finishing the season strong. We've got at least one more game to play.